G'day, I'm Wanda from Melinda Craft, and this is our Quilt Blocks channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this hourglass quilt block. It's also known as a quarter square triangle. It's quick and it's easy, so let's get started. So what you need are 2 squares of fabric that measure exactly the same. I've got 2 10-inch pieces of batik here, and what you're going to do is try and have a light and a dark. And I'm going to place one on top of the other, just like that. And then I'm going to just draw a line from point to point. Okay, using my friction pen. Now I'm going to go and sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that line. And then when we come back, what we'll do is we'll cut down that line, and that'll give us 2 half square triangles. So I'll go and do that now. Okay, so I've sewn 1/4 of an inch from on either side of the line that I drew, and now I'm going to cut down that line. So I just line my ruler up on that line and slice straight down. Okay, so I now have 2 half square triangles. So I'll go and press those, and then we'll come back and do the next step. Now I'll just quickly show you how to iron these open. You put the dark side of the material facing upwards, set your seam, okay, and that means that when I open this and press it, the seam will tend to want to go towards the dark side. Okay, so now we just open her up, give it a press along the seam line. Okay, and as you can see, the seam is laying flat against the dark material. So now that we have our pieces nicely pressed, what I'm going to do is to place them one on top of the other. Now you want to make sure that you have a dark piece laying over top of a light piece, alright, so because this is the effect that we want. So make sure that you have those 2 pieces like that, and again on the other side you'll have a dark piece and a light piece. Now because of the way we've pressed our seams, you'll see that they're going to nest together nicely, so that's going to create a nice edge that'll butt together. Then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line like we did when we did our half square triangles. So we'll put our ruler from point to point. We're going to draw a line down the centre, and then we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that line again, and then we'll cut. So again, I've sewn on either side of my drawn line, and now I'm going to just slice down that line. Well, I'm going to attempt to slice down that line. There we go. Alright, so here you go. I now have my quarter square triangles, or my hourglass blocks. So now it's just a matter of giving them a press, and then I'll come back and show you how to trim them. So I finished pressing my blocks, and now it's time to trim them. So I want an unfinished block size of 9 inches. So I need to divide that by 2, so that gives me 4.5. Now what I want to do is line my ruler up at that 4.5 inch mark at the centre of the joins there. And I also need to make sure that I have my 45-degree angle running along the seam line. So now I'm going to trim this block on 2 sides, then I'll turn it round and I'll do the same thing again, put the 4.5 inch in the middle and the 45-degree on the seam line. So let's just start trimming. Right. Okay. So flip it round. Now also, so I get my 4.5 inches in the middle and get my 45-degree on the seam line, and just make sure that my 9-inch, my lines are matching up here. Okay, so I've got a 9-inch line, and now because they've been trimmed, that should match up nicely. I have my 45 in the my 4.5 in the middle, and my 45-degree angle on my seam line. Move that a tad. Okay. And there we go. So I've now got both of my blocks sized to 9 inches. Don't they look great? I think those colours go really well together. Quick and simple. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You can also leave us a comment.